Anything that's in the bloodstream gets delivered out to the tissues, both good and bad. So let's focus on the good, let go of the bad. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Minke. This is Minke Wellness. And we've been spending the whole month talking about the blood, figuring out how to improve circulation, talking about the lymph. And in our workshop today, what we're going to do is focus on the bringing out the good, which I call blessing, right? Call forth the good. When you bless something, you call forth the good. So we're going to recognize that the blood carries the good stuff, our nutrients, our oxygen, our water, all of our micronutrients, minerals and vitamins and energy and sugar, and it carries all those things, hormones, information. It's carrying all that. But it's also carrying the bad stuff. If we eat something bad, gets into our bloodstream, that's going to be delivered out to the tissue and out to the brain. If we put chemicals on our body, that's going to be delivered into the bloodstream and then delivered out to the tissues. So everything and anything that our body experiences ends up in the bloodstream. And so let's look at that. Let's work with that a little bit and recognize that we want to call forth the good things, let go of the bad things. Sometimes, I mean, obviously in our wellness program, what we've been doing here is stop the poison, right? And step one is stop poisoning ourselves. So we definitely want to take deliberate steps, which we've been working on. If you haven't been working on those, go back and make sure you work on those things as we've gone through these couple months here. But we want to definitely minimize the toxic exposure. We want to stop poisoning ourselves. That makes sense because those poisons, once they get into the bloodstream, get delivered all around the body, affecting our brain, affecting our hormones, we got a lot of hormone disrupting chemicals that are out there in the form of plastic residues and all kinds of things, phthalates and synthetic fragrances and things like that are actually really wreaking havoc, making things very difficult for our body to stay balanced, making it difficult for us to be connected to our body and to feel what's going on. We also have stress hormones that run around. We run huge levels of stress. So this is where we start our wellness. Remember our wellness strategy. Stop poisoning ourselves. Flood the body with nutrients and manage our stress. Part of managing our stress is not have it in the first place. Figure out how to interrupt that stress cycle. We've talked about that in a lot of different ways. But all that stress, all those stress hormones end up in the bloodstream, okay? And those stress hormones get delivered out to the whole rest of the body, right? Once it's there, it's going to travel around. Our liver is responsible for clearing that out. We're going to talk about that next month. But the liver is responsible for clearing out all those hormones. We might have yesterday's hormones still running around the bloodstream. So we want to let go of the stuff we don't want, right? The bad stuff. We want to call forth the good, focus on the good, and let the other stuff just go. Let it filter out, let it clear out, okay? And it's those, the chemicals, the exposure. Sometimes we can't avoid the exposure. Certain exposures we can't avoid, and it's going to end up in the bloodstream anyway. It's in our food supply, it's in our air, it's in our water, it's everywhere. Lead, mercury, industrial toxins, there are those things. But we certainly want to do our best to clean up our lifestyle. So that's part of what we've been doing in our lifestyle focus is clean it up. We have a choice on what we use. Get those laundry detergents and this dishwasher, dish soap, all the personal care products as much as you can. Start cleaning all that up because it ends up in the bloodstream. Okay, so as you've gone through this whole, look at your toothpaste, right? Toothpaste ends up in the bloodstream. The fluoride in the toothpaste, all that toxic stuff ends up in the bloodstream. So what we're going to do is our final send off for our of course we're not going to forget all the stuff we've been doing here in the bloodstream and breathing into the blood and the lymph and all the rest of that stuff, but we're going to switch focus every time we move into the next month. We're going to go into the next system, and we're going to work with digestion and absorption next month, but we want to carry forth some of these skills. We don't want to forget these because we really do need to pay attention to how the blood is working and keeping our circulation going. But let's do this last final episode here to breathe into the blood, really call forth the good, acknowledging that there's stuff in there that we don't want, and letting go of that, okay? So there's going to be, I'm going to use the inhale and the exhale to work with my body on this whole thing. We already know we can vitalize the blood, bringing in the oxygen, but we want to get into that blood and really call forth and vitalize and thank God for all the good stuff that's in our bloodstream. Thank our body for all the good stuff that's in our bloodstream. Forgive it for all the bad stuff. Forgive ourselves for all the bad stuff that's in our bloodstream, because some of it we did. Now we can forgive humanity, forgive the culture, forgive the tribe for all the garbage that we keep dumping into our environment. Now we can do our part, right? We can do our part on that, buying organic, choosing products, we vote with our dollar. Okay, all of those things are an important part of our overall wellness. We can't be personally well unless we're globally well, okay? So we can continue praying and wishing and hoping and holding intention and holding our fellow man accountable, encouraging recycling, encouraging all those things, all of that is basic, it to me, integrated with the whole wellness package. We cannot get away from that, okay? So, but this is right now we're talking about a personal journey, a personal decision. What are we doing with our lives personally, and how are we manifesting that? And it manifests in the blood. Okay, so we're going to breathe into the blood, and we're going to call forth the good. Show me all the good. And immediately, I don't know just about you, but immediately, man, my blood just is singing. Hey, look at me. I'm vital. I'm happy. We've got a lot of good stuff going on in the bloodstream. That's the kind of relationship I'd like you to have with your body, that you breathe into your bloodstream and it goes, hey, I'm here. I'm glad you're noticing. And that's what I just experienced breathing in. And there's just a celebration going on in my bloodstream. How many happy things going on, wonderful hormones happening. The world's exciting. I mean, I'm at the end of my days. I'm excited to, starting to wind down. I'm not saying everything's about energy. Sometimes we're, about calm, but all of that is good. All that's a good and appropriate, and all that goodness is there. So breathing in the goodness, thanking God for all that, saturating my blood with the goodness, and recognizing there's some grunge on the back, on the fringes of that. Okay, now what we focus on grows. So if I focus on the good stuff, it's going to grow. I don't want to focus on the bad stuff, so I'm not going to breathe in and call forth the bad stuff and talk to it. And no, I don't care about any of that. I'm just going to let it go. So I'm going to breathe in all the good, and then I'm going to exhale and recognize anything that's not good, anything that doesn't belong there, dump out, wash out. Send it to the liver, send it to the furnace. And we're going to be doing that a lot next month. Sending stuff to the furnace, which is the liver, break it down, burn it up, get rid of it. So we can start practicing that. And the exhale, I'm going to send all that stuff down to the liver, out the bowels, out through the lungs. This is all the detox process, right? So breathing in the goodness and celebrate. Now, just making connection again. I know we've done a lot this month, but let's not forget we breathe into the red blood cells, breathe into the white blood cells, breathe into the platelets, breathe into the fluid that contains all the protein and the sugar and the fat and the minerals and the vitamins, and feeling the abundance. And thanking the hormones for all their wonderful signals. And that may be an area where you immediately connect to it and you go, oh, they're kind of off. That's all right. And now we breathe in a little bit better, cleaner communication to the body, right? Because the hormones are communication. They're telling the body what to do. So I'm making that connection, okay? And again, just as much as you can, give thanks. It's so easy to fall into the stress habit of beating ourselves up. It's so easy to fall into the sense of lack, okay? The idea that we're lacking. And you breathe in, and if we're breathing into the blood right now and you're feeling lack, and it's just there, maybe you are depleted, maybe the minerals aren't there, the vitamins aren't there, so maybe you're feeling that lack. So what can we do? Well, now let's breathe in what we need, just complete abundance, completion, total love, total just saturation of God's love into our bodies through the blood. And just be held. Just imagine yourself being held. As Catholic, we think of Mother Mary as our mother, okay, and the mother of Jesus. And I've used this imagery, and I'm not. If this works for you, great. But you could think of it in a number of different ways. But to me, I think of myself as just a baby being nursed by Mother Mary, right? Just she's our mother. She's our spiritual mother, and I just put myself in her arms, just being nursed and coddled and loved unconditionally, and me being in a state of complete innocence, of just letting go of any baggage that I think I have. All this is in the bloodstream. All of this, all of our image of ourselves, our value system, all of these thoughts end up manifesting in the blood. The blood is a very dynamic fluid. It is registering the hormonal stress system, the thoughts, the thing, it's talking back and forth. It's the entire highway, the communication system, right? And it's so important not to junk it up. So if you haven't done the work to really do get rid of the toxins, to stop junking up the bloodstream, you're just not, you don't know how good you could feel. You can feel so much better and so much more vital when we get that bloodstream cleared up. So that's why those detox times, 6 detox times before bed, drinking that water, cleaning up the diet. That's where we're talking about having a clean, crisp bloodstream, crisp, clean signals, and allowing that. I want that for you. I want that for everyone, to have such a nice and clean and robust blood that you just feel it, and that vitality is pouring and coursing through the veins. I mean, just running. I mean, and constantly moving and with vitality and abundance. That's what living is all about. Now, I'm not saying we don't have resting periods. I'm not saying we're hyped up, all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about appropriate levels of energy and appropriate times when we're resting. Okay, so breathing in that abundance. And like I said, if we breathe in right now and we're feeling lack, then let's call forth the good that is in there. And be thankful for the part we do have, right? If we're feeling tired and weak, well, there's obviously some energy in there. Thank my body for the energy it has, and recognize, okay, and have a conversation. We're working on it. It's going to be okay. It's so easy to beat ourselves up. It's so easy to fall into those mental patterns that are so habitual, that we beat ourselves up so easily. Oh gosh, why did I do that? And we're right down in the gutter before we even have that's one of the things that I had to learn to interrupt. That was a stress system, a habitual stress pattern, and I had to interrupt that. Okay, and that was a deliberate, conscious effort on my part to recognize when I would be spiraling down with my thoughts and my stress and my inner dialogue, and I had to interrupt that. Take a breath. Peter, I love you. That's Jesus talking to me. That's God telling me that he loves me. Breathe in my name, Peter. I love you, right? So that's that love, accepting God's love. God's not holding love back. God's not sitting back going, I'm not going to give that person love. I'm not going to give you love today. That's not what he's saying. He is showering us with every goodness and all the love that we could need to have an amazing day. And it's our job just simply to accept it. And the only reason we don't is because we don't feel worthy. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. If you're struggling with your belief in God, it's because you don't feel worthy of being loved by God. That there just can't possibly, the creator of the universe can't possibly care about me. And that's not true. So let's accept that love. And if you're not sure, if you're one of those people who's not sure, oh man, you're talking all that religious stuff again. Just pretend that there is a God that is loving you right now. Just pretend. Breathe that in. And saturating my body and my blood with love, with the feeling of love. Okay, so I'm going to let go of the old tired stuff, let go of the old habits, bringing in the new habits, bringing in a new day, and bringing in rest and peace. All right, so getting ready for next month. We start tomorrow with the digestive system. It's going to be fun. We've got a lot of new stuff to learn, right? New stuff to learn. There's so much. The body is so infinite. We're going to have fun with this. All right. Happy wellness. We'll see you tomorrow.